I came up out of that water like something being born, or drowning in reverse, I still can't tell you which. My knees went the second I hit the shore. I didn't fall so much as the floor collected me, and I just stayed there, breathing, counting that I still could. It was a cave, spikes hanging down from the ceiling, spikes coming up out of the floor, all around me, like the bars of a cell built by something that wanted me to understand I was already inside it. Somewhere far off things were clicking, chittering in the dark, and under that I swear to you people, screaming, a long, long way down. But the water had let go of my voice. After 3 levels the echo lifted off me. No filter, no fog, just my own breath in real, freezing air. I was out. And then the cold found me. Soaked to the skin, in air like the inside of a meat locker. I started shaking so hard I thought I'd come apart at the seams. Here's the stupid part, the water behind me, the water I'd nearly died in, was warmer than the air. I actually turned and looked at it. I thought about crawling back in. I'd read it on one of their signs, somewhere back up the line. Down here the cold kills you slow. You get tired, you close your eyes, and you don't open them again. So no, drowning warm is still drowning. But I couldn't stand, so I didn't. I crawled. Wet rock under my hands, my own breathing the loudest thing in the world. That's how I found him, a man, propped up against the wall, a dent in his skull where the floor had come up to meet him. I'm not proud of what I did next. I took his suit, caving gear, fleece on the inside, sealed on the outside, and I put it on, and for the first time since level 7 I was warm off a dead man. There was a pack at his feet, a little battery heater, a flashlight. I clicked the light on and it gave me about as much as a candle. That's this place, it eats light, but the heater. The heater was the first kind thing the level had done for me, and it wasn't even the level, it was him. There was a name stitched on the suit, not mine, some other dead man's name. I didn't think anything of it, I should have. A little further on, I found the sign. Welcome to the 9th Road, M.E.G outpost, 8.7 miles. Help is ahead, stay strong. Help 8.5 miles away, for a man who couldn't stand up. And it was theirs, the M.E.G, the people who'd been hunting me since the boiler rooms. Help was real down here, it just had a cage built onto the side of it. I lay against the rock and worked it out loud, like a crazy person talking to the dark. Captured or dead, and after level 7, after everything the water did to me, captured started to win. Maybe they didn't know me out here, maybe word doesn't make it this deep. Signs rot, batteries die, 8 levels is a long way to carry one man's face. Or maybe it travels faster than I can crawl. I had a knife and I thought, if they can't take my prints, if they can't match my face to the one they put out after level 3, maybe the dead man's name holds. Maybe I just stopped being findable. I got the blade up. And the cave took the decision out of my hands. My eyes closed on their own. I heard the knife ring off the stone somewhere a long way away. Turns out the thing that's trying to kill you can do you a mercy if you let it. I went under before I could cut. Black. I woke up warm. That was the wrong thing. Warm meant somewhere. Somewhere meant someone. Shapes around me, lights, the shine of clean equipment. And my first whole thought was, they've got me. I'm in an M.E.G cell and I slept right through the door closing. I tried to get up, I had nothing left to get up with. A hand came down on my shoulder and put me right back into the bed.
Easy now, I've got you. You're all right. You're safe, you're in a Harmouth camp. We look after the ones who make it onto the 9th Road. You've been under a good while.
It wasn't the words, it was the voice. There was nothing in it that wanted to hurt me. That reached me before anything she actually said. Then she called me by a name, not mine, the dead man's, off the suit, and I had about half a second to decide who I was going to be. So I was him, I said, yes, that's me.
We've been at this a long time, us. Harmouth. We mapped half these caves, laid the road out marker by marker. I'll be straight with you, you'll hear it from someone anyway. We work alongside the M.E.G, their outposts just up the way. Good people, most of them.
Good people, I was lying in a clean, warm bed paid for by the exact people who wanted me in a box, wearing a dead man's name like a second coat. Safe, for precisely as long as nobody looked too closely.
I won't sugar it for you. You've got the early signs of the wretched. The itch, the short fuse, the way you can't get warm no matter what we do, that's it setting in. Cold and starved and alone too long, it does this to people down here.
I asked her what it did. She didn't answer me. She just looked across the room. There was another bed, someone in it I'm not going to describe to you. The skin was wrong, and the voice was one word over and over, like a tap that wouldn't shut off. That was the far end of the road I was standing at the start of.
It's not a sentence, not this early. You rest, you eat, you drink what we bring you, and you don't go off on your own. That's the whole of the cure. Time and people.
Time and people. The two things I didn't have, because every hour I lay in that warm, clean room getting better was an hour closer to a M.E.G patrol walking through that door and seeing the man underneath the dead man's name. Stay and they find me. Run and I turn into the thing in the other bed. The cave hadn't stopped trying to kill me, it had just gotten patient. Later she asked me how I'd come to be down here. I gave her most of it, the library, the ocean, the long way down. I left out the M.E.G, I left out what I did at the fort, and the man I did it to. Some things you don't hand to people who write reports. But I told her the true part, the only part that's ever really mattered. I'm looking for my duck. His name's Ducken. He came up through the water ahead of me. I know he did, I know it, and I have to find him before this place does. I have to get him out. And she didn't laugh.
A duck, all right. Then we'll keep an eye out for him, you and me. Get yourself well first.
She put her hand over mine and told me she'd help me look. That's the part I can't put down, not that I'm chasing something that was never there, that a kind woman in a warm room took my hand and promised to help me chase it. So that's where it left me. Warm for once in my life down here, fed, safe, in a room full of people who'd pull me out of a fire without being asked. Getting better by the hour and more recognizable by the hour, in a camp that files its reports with the men who want me caged. With something in my blood that only lets go if I stay still, in the one place on this whole level I can't afford to stay still. I lay there and listened to the man in the other bed ask for water. And somewhere just up the road, an eagle, stitched on a patch, getting closer. The cave was done rushing me. It had all the time in the world now. I had to decide.